this really doesn't apply to regular people like me, but I think it's interesting because I have a slight interest in finance and things of that sort. Uh, there's these sports players who deferred money. For instance, the classic one is Bobby Bonilla, and I mean, he was getting paid probably like 20 years after he played, maybe even longer, every single year. There's people like Ken Griffey Jr., who last played in 2010 or something, or 2009, and he's getting paid $3 million up until next year. Now, that's a lot of money for a regular person. I'll never, probably never be able to see something like that. But the problem is with these the deferral contracts is it's for players that really don't understand anything about money. So every year the Fed wants inflation to be at least 2%. So if you take a deferral for a long-term deferral and spread it out over many years, let's say for instance, if I was to win the lottery, but I don't ever play it, so I'll never win it. But if I was to play it hypothetically and I won it, I would take that lump sum instead of however much money each year. I would rather have the lump sum so I can invest, not buy a bunch of crap. I mean, there's some things I would buy, obviously, probably a home base, a couple decent cars, nothing like fancy or nothing, just good cars. Probably like a good 25 years of food. So bury that, just, off standard, off grid living type of, something like that, like a home base I can come back to. But these players don't understand money. They don't know what to invest in. So I would take that money and I would invest it. I would invest it into good stocks that pay me back dividends. And it's I would diversify it. I would buy properties, stuff like that. Obviously a business, some type of business that would make me money. I would start up a business. I would start up a competition to these woke companies, and then I would try to have my prices compete with theirs so I can overtake them. Because right now, obviously, if you can start a company and you can compete with their prices, and you get your name out there, which if you're a prominent figure, like a sports figure in the past or something like that, you have more of access to get your business idea put out there. You have more connections, you got more networking possibilities, more people know who you are. So I'd be competing with these because I think that you can make a killing right now. Like I said in a different video, you probably have to put up more up front so you can compete with their prices. Because I think that there's a lot of these companies that are trying to compete right now. Like a lot of these YouTubers make coffee companies, and or like Jeremy's chocolate or whatever. Like I'm gonna buy like a $5 chocolate. It's just unrealistic, and only rich people can really do that. Or like trying to compete with beer, and it's just way more expensive. It's like, because they're trying to put that front cost onto the customer. Well, a lot of us don't have a lot of money. you're trying to market to regular people, and we don't have a lot of money. So you have to get investors or front the cost of making it so you can compete with the big dogs. But that's what I would do. And I would definitely, like I said, I would invest into good companies, stock companies, where I would get paid a quarterly dividend. So I would have a passive income. Let's just say like they give me a 3% dividend, and you invest they give you 3% per stock you own, or whatever, and you get it for every quarter. So if you have $100,000 invested into this company, you're gonna end up getting like three grand back each 3 months. And that might not sound like a lot, but if you have a decent amount and a diversified portfolio into these companies, which I wouldn't be investing in these companies that are nosediving. I heard that Anheuser-Busch is actually paying carriers to keep their Bud Light stock on the shelves. And I think that's kind of funny. These big companies, they don't. It's not about making. They don't care about money. They have a ton of money. Now it's about pushing an agenda. But what I would do, is, I wouldn't do. I would want all the money up front, man. And yeah, there is like security, and it's more risky. But I would have, like I said, I'd have a home base, man. I would have, in case everything fell through, I would have enough assets in physical silver and gold to be able to pay my property taxes on that compound. I'd have a little bit of crypto. And instead of like, I'm gonna have guaranteed money coming in for the next 20 years that's been completely devalued. It's getting devalued 2% every year. So the owners made out like a bandit. And normal people, because and it was funny listening to these radio show, they were talking about it yesterday, and they're like, oh man, that'd be so cool. Every single year I come in, I get like a $250,000 check every year for nothing. And yeah, that's good money, but it's not good money compared to what it was 20 years ago. Especially the huge inflation spike that happened in 2022. That's why I would do short-term contracts. And in a short term, there's a risk too. There's always risk for everything. You can do a longer term contract like Patrick Mahomes and take $500 million. So I don't think that's guaranteed anyway, but like, you get the guaranteed bonuses, or guaranteed for signing bonus or something. But it's like, if you get hurt, like, there's security in a long-term contract, but you get more bang for your buck if you just do like short-term contracts. And what that does too is it keeps you working hard. So a lot of these athletes, they work really hard. They get in a contract year, they have the best year of their career, and then they get that paid that fat bag. And then they start sucking. And it's like they let off the gas. They stop working hard. They get comfortable. And it's like, dude, you're making all this money and you're not even playing hard. Or you're hardly playing at all. And what's up, man? But it's like, it just makes you, I think it makes you more hungry. For me, at my job, right? And I'm surprised by this. They said that I was like, yesterday, I'm like, one of my big bosses was questioning my numbers because they're so high. So I get paid per case I pick. And apparently yesterday I was picking 300 cases per hour, and that makes it, I get paid like 9 cents per hour per case I pick, 9.5 cents per case. And I was making like 28 bucks an hour. And he was saying like, nobody has done that. And I'm like, really? Like, I thought that people were faster than me. But like, that keeps me motivated. Like when I go into work today, how it used to be is like I'd work really hard, and then the rest of the week I just have it easy. I can just like bullshit with people. But now at work, I don't really want to talk to anybody. Everyone I work with is people I don't know. And that's how I want to keep it, because I don't want people like bugging me. Like I stay cordial and cool with people, but I'm not trying to develop any type of friendships. And it sounds weird, but it's like when I start going, I'm focused on making my money. Like I have goals. And I don't want to be held back. And I don't even want to compete with anybody. I'm just there to work my ass off. You know what this video is going to turn into me now. What I've noticed about this lifestyle that I've been living, it's kind of a brutal type of lifestyle that most regular people, they wouldn't do it, and they can't do it, is I don't even want to complain. Like, I made videos before and I didn't post them because they just kind of came off as complaining. I made a lot of videos on here complaining, and I don't want to come off as that anymore. It's making me extremely strong, this type of warrior. And I'm not a warrior like I'm fighting anybody, but it's a pretty brutal schedule, pretty brutal lifestyle that I've chosen for myself right now to toughen myself up. Battling through my plantar fasciitis, which I don't complain about, and I don't talk to people about how I have to always stretch out my feet, and I have like problems on the top of my feet where they hurt, or just like, but I battle through it, and I try to ignore it, and I try to ignore the pain, and I get through it. Yesterday was the 4th of July, and it was just like another day to me. It wasn't like And then I know it's America's birthday, which is an awesome thing, but you know, holidays and everything like that just kind of seemed like everything's just another day. How my birthday was just another day. But yeah, I think that's all I have. Take it easy.